Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Masks Off. I'm Kim,
And I'm Tia.
and we are so excited to be here today and talk about non-duality and failure. And boy, do we have a lot to say on this. But before we do talk about that, I will begin with the quote. And the quote is a Rumi quote. So, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Rumi. I love that quote. I feel like it could be a song. I think, I
Very
don't know
well
if it
could
is.
be, for all we
Yeah,
know.
it might be. It might be. So we thought we would talk about this today because I have been right smack dab in the middle of this dual place, this
Right.
good versus bad, right versus wrong. So goes hand in hand with the perfectionist mask. I may as well have 10 layers of it on right now. Like, let's peel them off. And then
Let's do it.
if you have some to peel off for yourself too, we'll peel off yours
That's
as
right.
well if it flows. But anyway, I think I did mention in a different episode that I am doing a food challenge. It's called the Wild Fit. And again, I'm not here to promote or demote, if that's even a word, to say yes, hey, or yay or nay about it, just only my experience with it. So I want to be clear about that. And I have been struggling, like big time struggling with it. So it's a 90-day quest or a 90-day challenge. And the idea is to have food freedom and some people weight loss. And if weight loss is part of it for me, great. But that was not my intention or goal. My intention and my goal for the program is to have food freedom. And as you and I talked earlier,
I'm like, what is food freedom to you?
Yeah. So want to ask me it again and I'll tell everybody what I said.
So before we hit record, I asked Kim, so what does food freedom mean to you, right? Because it could mean something very different to me and to other people. So to have that clarity in what your intention from the program is. So what is food freedom to you?
So what I said initially was to never have a craving. To never have a craving or have thoughts of having wine or to have, my Starbucks, to be able to drive by Starbucks and never think about it, never have the urge. Right there. Good luck with that. But right there in itself is such a perfectionistic thought.
And dual.
All or nothing and dual. It's like never ever again. I'm going to be on our last podcast was mountaintop. I'm going to be sitting on the mountaintop.
Right.
Just eating, grass and leaves and picking the berries. And I'm never going to think about Starbucks again. And I keep saying
chewy,
chocolate brownies, right? Gooey, chocolatey, warm, gooey chocolate brownies. And I keep bringing up Starbucks because that one's been hitting me a lot lately. Like that was such a habit for me to get Starbucks. So that's what I answered you, was to never have the craving. And then you kindly pointed out, okay, that's not realistic, Kim. Like, okay, yep. All right. To clarify that more, really what I want is, all right, the craving comes up, the urge comes up because it will. And it could be, it doesn't matter whether it's food, it could be shopping, it could be alcohol, it could be any sugar, it can be so many different things, right? To be able to have the urge come up and to be able to pause, as you always talk about the pause, and to make a conscious decision.
Correct.
And then I said, I'm afraid that if I go back and start to have some of the things, even consciously, that it will snowball into, I'm all out again. I can't stop and control myself. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in front of the TV at night and I'm making 10 trips to the pantry to grab some kind of snack, cracker, whatever.
Right.
Like, I don't want that anymore. I don't want it to have control over me. That's where I want the freedom.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm doing the program. However, we are in the phase right now, or just started the phase, where we have eliminated a ton of things: caffeine, alcohol, refined sugar, preservatives and additives. You got all, is that your
Got
coffee,
my coffee
Tia?
right here.
For those
no
who
sugar
can't
in there,
see,
but there's coffee.
there's coffee. So you got no caffeine. I haven't had caffeine in so long. So, well, I take that back, because now the smoothie has cacao in it, and that's caffeine. So I'm breaking a lot of rules today. And let's talk about that in a minute, how I feel about
I was going to say what's
rules.
going on within you right at this moment, because literally that just got here. What? 5 minutes ago?
5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago. It just showed up for me. My daughter brought it for me. What is going on with that is that I'm breaking a rule, is childhood stuff. I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. I have to follow the rules 100%. I have to do it all in, all the way, or else I've failed. I'm a failure. And it is not only showing up in my food, it has showed up in my life in many ways. It showed up in my life as a mom. It showed up in my life when I was in school. I had to get the A+100. Literally, if I got like a 95, I would just feel, even if it was just a little twinge of disappointment of, this is not 100.
Right.
And even like my tasks, like I have to be super competent and make sure I get everything, like the whole list has to be completed. I mean, literally that's I'm owning it. That's my perfection.
All those layers, right?
That is the hardest one for me. I think I've gotten really good. We've talked a lot about the rescuer mask, and I've gotten really good with that one, taking that mask off. But I'll tell you, this perfection one is still showing up.
And now it's really showing up front and center for you right now.
Oh, yes, there it is. This is here for me and not to me.
Correct.
This is here to show the mirror of my perfection mask, because, all right, going back to where we are, we're in the phase where almost everything is eliminated. The only thing we're having right now is an abundance of vegetables, green vegetables, and protein, meat of some sort. We can have fats too: avocado, olive oil, and coconut oil, but very minimal. I guess we can have all the avocado we want, but the oils are minimal. And it's very, very rigid at this point. Very, and Eric, the person who founded the program, even said, this is the week, this is the phase that you do not want to slip. That means you have to be 100% all the way, right? You have to be 100% all the way, because if you have a little bit of carb or sugar this week, it's going to slow down the process. Instead of you being able to flip the switch from sugar burning to fat burning, which is what we're trying to do, which is ketosis. If you have a little bit of sugar, which I just slipped everyone with my smoothie drink.
She's owning it.
I'm owning it, that my switch may not flip, or it will take longer or slow it down. So it's like all or nothing, baby. This is duality. You do it or you don't. You fail.
Yeah. I mean, just when you were talking, I have to be honest. And obviously, okay, so for those who weren't privy to our earlier conversation, I've gone through various playing with nutrition stuff. Basically, once my kids were born, I think around when they started eating solid foods, I was like, organic, everything, made their baby food, perfection. Tried vegetarianism, veganism, Whole30, paleo, or more primal than paleo, all sorts of stuff over the years. So I've had my own journey with that. But when you said it's this or nothing, what my trigger hearing that is like, now where I am now is like, why is someone on the outside telling me what I'm supposed to be doing with my body? Because everyone's body is different, is what I've learned in my process. And what I need today, I may not need next month. I don't know. It's what it is. But then you've got the group, and this is just an observation. So again, it's nothing to do with the program per se. It's just the observation. So then you've got this big group of people, you've said, and you have another accountability coach on top of that big group of people.
Yeah, over 200.
So there's this group mentality that if you slip, there's shame.
Yeah.
Could go to shame. And for a lot of people it will, then I failed and versus what do we talk about in everything in our journey? Can we go to someone and say, you know what? You're never going to be triggered again. You're never going to have that perfectionist mask again. It's not possible.
Yeah.
So why would food be any different? And when we're following someone who's put up on this pedestal telling us what we should and shouldn't do, and if you slip up this week, you might as well not have even started.
Yeah. Well, and let me tell you,
I am having a response.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest here.
I know. Well, and then it's like, oh, okay. Well, so just like that paper that I wrote that I wanted to get an A on, or the 100 on a test. It's like, I want to get 100 on this. I want to,
he's a good student.
I want to be the good student. I got to do it. Because if I don't get into the fat burning, like just the way everybody else is. And on top of that, so when you mention that I'm a part of a big group, there are over 200 people in it, and kind of similar to another group that we were in where people were posting their foods and, their nice concoctions that they would make and everything. And I would look at them as I'm looking at them in this group, and I'm seeing these beautiful things that people are making. And I'm seeing all these posts. People are like, oh, I feel great already. I'm doing so well. And good for them. I'm like, great that they are. But do you want to know how that makes me feel? It's making me feel like shit because I don't like to cook. Anything that I'm trying tastes like crap. I made these egg things. They taste terrible. And I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling really, really sick on the program where people are already having so much great success. And so I only say that to say that another part of the perfectionist is comparing.
I was just going to say, comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yes. Oh, that's great. Are you writing that down? That's a great title. Comparison is that's totally what's happening. I'm comparing myself to what other people are doing and feeling like a failure at it. However, if I'm really honest, like I shared with you a few minutes ago before we recorded, I've had a lot of wins already. I'm drinking more water than I have ever had. I've had so much fruit. Even though I'm not cooking well, I'm cooking more instead of ordering out like I used to. I'm reading labels. I didn't used to read labels. I do feel like my digestion is better. I do feel like my skin is different. So there are a lot of wins, when you have a perfectionist mask, if you wear that, I have to be very mindful of not slipping into, oh my God, because the other piece that happens when I go into this duality and failure, because that's what we talked about. If I'm failing, then just stop. That's my MO. That's been my pattern. Just give it up.
Yeah. If I can't do it perfectly, why bother at all?
Yep. Just quit.
But that's the challenge with that failing and the duality, where in reality, it's no different than any of the process of climbing or, the mountain analogy that we use. Like, we're on a journey. And just because someone else is at this point on the journey, you don't know what their journey to get to that point is. And you don't know, they may slip right down that mountain and all of a sudden be stuck in a hole again.
Yeah.
And need to start climbing again. So why would food be any different? Because it's not about the food. I mean, obviously there's stuff about food we could, like the labels and how much garbage is in food and blah, blah. I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
But focusing on the duality aspect versus what if food is just what's the word I'm looking for? Food is no different than your thoughts that are coming in, right?
Yep.
So it's minding your mind and minding the food in the same way versus, we talk about don't judge your thoughts. They just come and go. It's when we make an attachment, then it becomes dual. It becomes this or that, right or wrong, good or bad. What if food is just food? So whether it's the most highly processed, ho-ho or Twinkie or something.
Yeah.
Versus like right now, blackberries are coming into season here. And so I've been going out and picking blackberries almost every day, and they're wild, so super high nutrition because they're wild. Yeah. They're not sprayed with anything. They have survived years and years in the back. And yeah, I mean, from a nutritional standpoint, one is better than the other, no doubt, but it's what we attach to it because we're told this or that. But what if one day, I mean, and I hate Twinkies, so it's a terrible example. Should be an ooey gooey brownie.
Yeah. Okay. Ooey gooey brownie.
Ooey gooey brownie, chocolatey. What if one day I just want that brownie and I'm going to be okay with it? Like I have had my fill of blackberries. I want another blackberry. I still do. Yeah. Now. But like, let's say in 2 weeks when the blackberries are done, I won't want another blackberry for a while because they've gorged on them. But I'm not attached to them being good or bad. It's just like my body's craving this right now. Right now, my body's craving a brownie.
Okay. And the other story that I attach to what you just said is that I have a fear around food, as if food is something, big and monstrous and powerful, that if I have that ooey gooey chocolate brownie, because I feel like having one, that I'm not going to be able to stop having them. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is no, I was going to just say is that an attachment then? That's an attachment to that story.
It's an attachment to the story, but do you notice the power dynamic?
Oh, totally. Yes.
Food has the power in your mind.
It completely does.
Because if I have one, then I can't stop it. And I no longer have control. So food is almost like a representation of lack of control. So it's the power over. So you want to control it. So you're controlling is either that failure aspect, well, screw it all, but where's that field that Rumi talks about?
Yes.
What if it just is? Instead of fearing food and the control it has on, so taking away the power, the illusion of power that food has and empowering yourself. That's food freedom to me.
Yeah. So how does one do that? Because I've been trying to do that for many years with the food.
So what about thinking of it? Because obviously it's really intertwined, right? But can you take a wider view, a bigger step back? So like there's the mountain range. Okay. So you've got some food mountains all over.
Yeah. I love how we put our stuff together.
But you're, so you're getting the eagle's point of view. So you're seeing this mountain range, and you've seen like the perfectionist mountain range, and you see the rescuer mountain range, which you've conquered to a point where you feel pretty good about it. Like you'll slip into it, but you're not in judgment of yourself when you slip into a rescuer mode in the same way that you were.
No, I laugh about it. I'm like, there I go. Hands on the wheel. Let me take them off.
Yeah. And same with perfectionism. Like, it has a stronger hold.
Yeah.
But you still can be playful with the perfectionism.
Yes,
where
totally.
The food, when you look at those food mountains, what do you feel?
Fear. Total fear and anxiety.
And what did you used to feel about the other mountains that you've integrated and traversed and know you're going to slip in the mud again, and then you're going to be okay. And you're going to look back and go like, oh, it's just a reminder that here it is. It's not gone and it's never going to be gone. So how can you take that same energy and perspective and transfer that to the food? Because
I hear what you're saying and I get it.
Where it is.
Like what I feel coming up is that with the food, it has to be all or nothing. And that's what I need to let go of. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
And that was your immediate response to what food freedom is to you. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's dual. So where's the non-duality in living with food? Because we have to live with food. Right? Food's not an option.
Yeah. Food, right. We have to live with food. I don't have to have wine and I don't have to have ooey gooey chocolate brownies, but I get what you're saying. Like, and because I have done it for the last few weeks, I've been able to say no.
Right.
So, and in the program, we, what's the word? Personify. We personify the food devil and the food angel.
Yeah.
And the food devil is the one that is bullying the food angel. The food angel really wants to eat clean and so on and so forth. But the food devil shows up and says, oh, come on, just have it. Just have it. And so in that sense, go ahead. I know you're busting to say something.
Go. I want you to finish your thought.
I was just going to say that, I have been able to detach some by personifying them to some extent, but it is the food devil that bullies the food angel into eating and having power over.
And what is a food devil and a food angel?
What are they?
In relation to what you were talking about.
I'm not sure where you're going with it.
Dude, they're dual. Tell me.
Oh, they're dual. Yeah, they're dual. Yeah,
okay,
totally.
So anytime, so we talk about, I always talk about, when I fall off my consciousness wagon and, I'm having a trigger reaction, and more often than not, I know I'm in it, and I have I always say it's my little ego, you need to stop talking. But it's not a place of judgment. So it's not a devil on my shoulder telling me to stop and that you're bad or wrong, or you need just more hey, you need to rein yourself in, take some breaths. When we have a food devil, even just the name devil connotates bad, evil, wrong. And this is just what's coming up for me. So take it or leave it. What if it's just hey, do you want that? Because if you want it, have it. But maybe just have one. Maybe just explore it. Maybe all you need is a bite. But if we're so it's a bully, it's this, it's that, versus, hey, how can I integrate that part of me? Just we want to integrate our inner child. We want to integrate and understand our past wounds. So what about having compassion for this food, whatever you want to call it? Because I just can't call it a food devil anymore. It didn't dawn on me till this conversation when you first shared that.
Me either.
It's right or wrong. So you're bad if you give in, and you're not perfect, and you might as well just give up, blah, 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 versus hey, maybe there's something in that brownie that you need. Because guess what? Chocolate is filled with magnesium. There's a reason women, I'm pretty sure it's magnesium. There's a reason we crave chocolate at certain times of our hormonal cycle, because we need more of that mineral.
I do remember reading that or hearing that.
So what if I think it is that. Obviously it's, there's the process versus on, but we aren't going to get into all that. But what if it's saying, hey, you know what? What's it going to hurt? Just have a bite and move on. Or have the whole freaking brownie and be you know what? Wow, I don't feel so good anymore. That's just interesting information for me.
Yeah.
Versus let me beat myself up, or I'm not going to let you have a say, right? Imagine if we said that to our inner child or our past wounds or anything. You don't get to have a say. How dare you?
Yeah, just be quiet.
Just be quiet. Up. Go back in your little hole within me. Yeah. That I'm just going to pretend you don't exist because it's too painful. So what if that, we'll just stick with food devil for sake. What if that food devil is just saying, hey, Kim, something to explore here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because when you said that, when you pointed out the duality of the devil and the angel, my next thought was, and it's okay. I tried it because, again, I learned many things from the program, but this program, the way it was set up and designed, is not in my best interest. It may work wonderful and amazing for many people. I'm not saying anything, but for me, because that all or nothing and that duality of it is actually maybe where, the goal is to have the food devil maybe be a little more subdued and the food angel more in charge. I feel in some ways my food devil became even louder because there was that duality of going on, that all or nothing, I got to do it. And that whole, when I just want to give up, when I'm not doing it perfectly, then there's the devil saying, go ahead, eat what I give in, quit. Who cares? Quit.
And I think then it comes back to that attunement and that discernment. And so what is the message here? If you almost think of it as your ego talking.
Yeah.
Hey, is what you're saying, is it true? Do I need to discern? Is there a part in there that maybe is there a part I need to listen to? Or is hey, I hear you. I see you. yes, I know you're having a temper tantrum right now and you really want that brownie. But right now I'm choosing it's not what I need right now. I know that's what you need, but that's not what I need anymore right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that. It's like all the wisdom we talk about all the time. It's like having self-compassion is where you're going to get your food freedom. You're not going to get your food freedom from beating yourself up.
Absolutely. And so we can't underscore or highlight enough the importance of the self-compassion.
Oh my gosh.
Totally. It is the antidote to someone who wears a perfectionist mask.
Yeah. Because
the
we're
antidote.
human. We are going to make mistakes, or we are going to have that whatever talking and screaming at us, but then we can nurture and hold and be like, hey little food devil.
Yep. Exactly.
Here you go. I hear you. And I know you want to quit, or I know you want this, or you know, like that, but I'm going to tap into myself and see what I need right now. And sometimes we just, like I said, need the brownie for no reason.
Yep.
You know, just like sometimes I just want to binge on a Netflix show or something. Like, is it good? No, but maybe that's what I just need right now. Because sometimes I do need that detachment, not for a day or what, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I do it at night, every night. Whether it's just an hour of mindless TV, like a little sitcom, to just, laugh a little bit and not have my mind going.
So how are you okay with that? I'm just curious.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes I will comment, but I'm like, I'm okay with it because I know that I'm not doing it all day, every day. And in some ways it doesn't seem to just have like the power over me the same way I thought food did. I just am more okay. I'm in acceptance of it. I accept it.
See, and that's that whole,
and I'm okay.
And it's kind of the old adage. I think I learned this one from my journey with all the different programs and the people I learned from. I think it was from Mark Sisson, the Primal guy, that way back when it first became more popular, back in, I don't know when it was, early 2000s. And it's the 80-20 rule. That was the 80-20 rule was like, you have permission. And yes, at that time it was an external person giving me permission.
Yeah.
But I think that 80-20 rule, so for those of you who aren't familiar, it's like you eat healthy 80% of the time and 20, you get leeway in the 20%. Whether you do that all on the weekend or you do it throughout. Yeah. And it's not day by day, meal by meal. You look at your nutrition on a wider standpoint, over a week, over a month, whatever it is. And that 80-20 rule comes into everything else too. It comes into, I got triggered and activated. You know what? I'm human. That's in my 20%. I have that. It gives you that compassion,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. It does. It gives you the permission to have compassion, self-compassion.
Right.
And I will just say one other thing too, is that, about this program, I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was a healthy eater before this program. So I am, instead of going all or nothing on the program, I'm going in the middle, whether I continue to do it or I don't. Like, what can I take away from it is like a middle ground. And the middle ground is I've learned how to read labels. I didn't know certain things were like additives. I will be way more conscious about reading labels on things.
And it's huge.
It is huge. And some I will go back to. I'm okay with it. It's minimally processed. There's like one or two things that are in there to give it its consistency, like in my almond yogurt or whatever.
Right.
I'm okay with that. And, you recommended that one whey protein, the Terra. Is that
there's nothing in there? Yeah, there's right. I'm going to use nothing in there.
Yeah, I will continue to use that except for the whey. But you said it's a different kind of whey. It's a little healthier.
Well, it's from Wisconsin. Come on.
Okay, so it's gotta be. It's from Wisconsin. It's good. Wisconsin whey.
No, I think it's all they're grass. They're like
grass
that live. Yeah. A life that a cow is supposed to have.
Yeah.
As much as we can allow based on
exactly. I know what you're trying to say. Yeah. So there's two key takeaways: self-compassion.
Yes.
And then the middle ground. For me is finding the middle and the in between. That's the non-duality, right? That's the 0 point that we used to talk about.
Right.
It's not right. It's not wrong. It's not good. It's not bad.
And trusting yourself, right? Trusting yourself, you know, and we're going to swing away from that middle, and then we swing back. I mean, it's the ebb and flow of life, and, you know, just keep coming back to that field, that Rumi field.
Yeah. Love
you
it.
You know what you need. And I mean,
yes.
I've been telling you that last times we talked about this, you know.
Yeah.
And I love the beauty of recognizing the benefits that you are gaining.
Yes, total. It was not a waste at all. So there's the positive in that. So anyway, wow, this was a super great conversation, and we went a long time for just the two of us. We usually are much quicker, but anyway, I loved it. Yep. Thanks for holding space for me, and we deconstructed for sure.
Awesome. I love it. And thank you for showing up and sharing where you're at in the moment.
Yeah. I mean, no worries. Like, I feel like it helps, you know, people to relate when when I'm sharing my struggle. I'm sure someone out there has either a similar struggle with food or some other substance, or just the perfectionism. So I'm happy to share. That's how we pay it forward, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.